Welcome to Strategy and Tea, episode 15. Our guest today is Bri Sanford. She is a virtual assistant coach and the owner of the Raxx Creative. She's going to talk about the benefits of hiring a VA, and she's going to share some tips on how to delegate as an online course creator. So let's dive in. Welcome, Bri. Thank you for accepting my invitation and being here. I'm looking forward to this chat.
Absolutely. I'm super excited about this. This is such a fun conversation to be had. So I'm really pumped to kind of give some advice.
Good. So let's start by please tell us about your story and how you got into virtual assistant coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I was working in 9 to 5 as a marketing executive. I was helping a big company get all their marketing out and into the public. And this was about 4 years ago. I was a brand new mom. I had just had my little baby, and I was trying to do the 9 to 5 schedule, and it just wasn't working for me as a new mom. We only get 6 weeks here in America. And then after those 6 weeks, you have to go right back to work. And it was really tough to balance being a new mom and going back into my 9 to 5 and meeting all the responsibilities for both without having to take, days off of work here and there. So I realized really early on that it wasn't going to work for me and my family. And I decided to start my own online business. It was still very new at the time. It was, pre-COVID, before people realized what Zoom was, that we could work virtually. And my family thought I was crazy. They were like, this is insane. Maybe it's going to work, maybe it won't. Just give it a shot and see how it works out. And here I am 4 years later. I found clients. I networked through, friends and partnerships that I made. And here I am 4 years later, still working as a virtual assistant, minimally, but now I am actually coaching virtual assistants in this realm to make sure that our workforce has all the information that they need to be successful. I found for me, it was really hard to get all the information, and it took 4 years to be like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. So what I did was condensed all of my knowledge that I learned over the past few years, and now I'm coaching people to do the same in a shorter amount of time.
That's great. I also started as a virtual assistant, and I find so valuable what you do because at the beginning, of course, it's like you are trying different things. You are kind of seeing where is your right way to do the things, and having the help of someone else that is already forward to you, so they know how to help you. They know where are the main struggles that you have and that. So yeah, I found that this really could be really helpful for people starting out now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of information.
Yeah. So going to the topic of today, how what in your opinion, how virtual assistants can help specifically online course creators?
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into being a course creator. I myself am a course creator, and there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just creating the content or editing the content or loading it into the platform. After that, you have to think about marketing, how you're going to get those students into your course. So there's, social media marketers who can do that. Then you have to think about the back end of it. So who's actually going to manage the platform? You have students that need to be managed. So that's going to be your client relations kind of VA. And then on the other side of that is your back end is how does the system work? So automations, are there emails involved? Are there, is your course dripped out over a certain period of time? Does someone need to set that up and understand the platforms and how that's going to be delivered? So there's so many ways that VAs can help, especially course creators who may be new to the online platform, but know exactly what they want to teach. There are multiple VAs that can help you to go from start to finish, and then also to fulfill that course, get people in there and make sure that they're getting the information they need from you.
Mhm. Yeah, amazing. It's in my opinion too. It's like there are several areas in which you can get help from a VA. If it's specialized in a specific category, it will be even helpful because if it's something new for you, they have knowledge and they could give you some orientation, not just implementing tasks, but also giving you really support. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And it's a step-by-step process, honestly, for course creators, especially the ones that are really new. If you have your material and you know exactly what you want to teach, but you don't know where to start, find someone who will help you to figure out what platform to use, then what it's going to look like, then how you get it out to people, and then also how it's going to function. So it's a step-by-step. Just take it piece by piece, work on your course, make sure that that part is solid, and then bring in VAs one at a time to start to flesh it out.
yeah. Also, something that I work with my customers is having this action plan, and then you just bring someone specialized in the specific area, and they will know how to do that task, and helping you. You don't need to figure it out everything, or spend time and effort in check and research how to do specific things. So yeah, absolutely. um, could you share the most common myth in hiring a VA?
Yeah, I think the most common myth is that it's going to be this astronomical price. I think that price motivates a lot of us, especially when we start out. We want to be able to stay within our financial budget, but also make an impact and make something happen. So, hiring a virtual assistant, yes, it does cost money. Let's start there. It does cost money. However, a lot of virtual assistants will work with your budget and also your timeline to make sure that you can get the desired results that you need in a certain amount of time or within a certain amount of budget that you have set forth.
Yeah, yeah, and in the price, it also depends on the experience that the person has, and it's not so different of any other career. That it depends on your experience and the skills that you have and how specialized you are in a certain topic. So it's the same
Absolutely.
in other professions.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. I mean, sometimes the price is a lot larger than what you thought it was going to be, or a lot less. Really do your research. Look for reviews. Look for portfolios. Look for examples of work, because you do get what you pay for at the end of the day. And if you're going to really take this seriously and you really want to do it the right way, then do it the right way. Try not to cut too many corners, but do your research. Make sure that the person that you are interested in, you vetted them, and that their work speaks for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what could you say is the biggest challenge in delegating? Because this is a big step to take.
The biggest challenge in delegating, the first challenge I think is letting it go, because we, as the course creator and as the boss, we want to know everything that's going on. We want to know how it's going minute by minute. We want the rundown, and it's really hard to kind of let go of control and let that professional take it under their wing. So I think that that's the hardest part. Then after that is making sure that whatever we're delegating, what we're asking, that what we're informing them of, the information that we're giving them matches our desired result. Because a lot of times we'll say, I want you to write the letters A, B, and C. Perfect. That's the instruction we give. But we don't tell them what font, what direction, how we want it to look, where we want it to go. So when you're giving information and when you're delegating to these VAs, be very specific and say, I want you to write ABC in the order of ABC, in the color blue, in this certain way, at this certain moment. So be very clear on how you're instructing them, because a lot of times it's just a miscommunication versus my VA doesn't know what they're doing. No, they do. I promise. You just really have to be very specific on what you're asking and how you're asking it.
Yeah, I totally relate to all this because yes, it's hard to be in the mind of someone else. So you need instructions, and you need some orientation about what is the results and what are the expectations. Because I found out that this is really really important to value, yeah, to really then check if the work was done well or not. Because yeah, it
Correct.
depends on
And then
on
have that
the
open relationship too. If
yeah.
there's something that doesn't meet your expectations, say, hey, I thought it was going to look a little more like this or be a little bit more like that. Oh, perfect. Okay. Give that VA time to make that correction, because you're right. It's very hard to be in the mind of someone else. It's impossible.
And also, communication is so important because at the end of the day, it's a relationship that you are building with someone else that is getting involved in your business. and it's something that will evolve. So it needs time. You need time to see how that person works and how you work with them, um, and find the sweet spot to see how to do the work in the best way possible and communicate the instruction also in the best way possible. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Um, for someone new working with a VA, where should they start?
Oh my, where should you start? So I think um, you want to start at ground zero. So let's say if you're creating a course, the first thing that's needed in your course is obviously your content. So before we even start, designing and branding and all these other things, you really want to think about what you're offering. And are you able to actually put out what you're offering in the virtual space? So if you say, I have all of these ideas, I know I want to create, but I don't know how to create the video, or I've created the video, but I don't know how to organize it or how to edit it. That's where you want to start. It's always going to be about your course first, and then the vanity stuff we do later. So when you look at VAs, we want to make sure that your course is very easy to understand, that it's organized in the right way, and that the videos are edited and easy to hear and follow along with. So I always say start at ground zero first, and then after you have that base, then we can get it pretty.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. And it's so important because sometimes at the beginning, especially some course creators, they focus so much in the details of could be technical stuff, could be, as you mentioned, the branding, the colors, and all that. Um, the first step is go to the foundations. You need to validate your idea. You need to outline what is the outcome. You need to structure all that, and then
Yeah.
of course you will get to the point where you get to the okay, the colors, the branding, and all that nice stuff as well. But yes, first foundations.
Yep. And there
So
are
absolutely
VAs
agree.
who help with structure and organization and making sure that A goes all the way to Z. There are VAs that do that, strategists, people who help course creators to make sure that their outline is actually going in the same direction, not all over the place. So there are VAs that can help you at the ground level too.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, would you say that this, especially if it's someone that is at the beginning of their journey, and they are going to bring the first person in their team, it's a good approach to know all the tasks that the person needs to do for you, or for example, if you are delegating, let's say, email marketing, uh, the person should know about this, or it's okay that they don't know but they delegate this. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. I think you have to have a general idea of what you're wanting to do. So let's say we said email marketing. Okay, perfect. You don't have to know how it works or how, the bots talk to the other bots, but you do need to know, I want to be able to send out emails to potential clients, and I want it to bring them in for a sale or bring them through the journey so that they understand what I'm offering. Perfect. So then from there, you can either do one of two things. You can get someone who's best on strategy. And this is where, when I spoke earlier about finding the VA and knowing what they're good at, find someone who's multifaceted, who doesn't just offer one specific thing. Because if they're going to do email marketing, that's so much more than just sending an email. They need to understand why they're sending it, who they're sending it to, what the structure should look like, what it should sound like. So when we're looking at those like small, minute details, looking at a multifaceted VA who really understands the whole spectrum of their niche is going to be really important for you. So you really want to make sure that you're finding those really valuable people.
Hmm. Yeah, and I agree on that. That you have, in my opinion, also you have to have a general idea of
Mhm.
that specific area, because even if it's something that you are taking care, maybe even documenting your process, is going to help if someone else is going to take your work and doing it for you. If you are documenting that, is going to help to that person do in the same way that you like to do. So this is something that sometimes we if we are alone in our businesses, we are not thinking about, okay, I'm going to delegate this to document this process, but I'm always this feeling that it's too soon to do that. but at the end, if you start from the beginning, I feel that okay, you are helping
Yeah.
your future yourself.
Absolutely. And I always tell people that I work with, because I have some now who have gotten so trained that when they come with a new idea, they have it all mapped out. And I'm like, all right, here we go. But for those of you that are just starting, yes, document everything that you're doing that you could potentially delegate. My favorite way to do this is an app called Loom. There are, it's a free app, but there are pricing structures kind of in there. But all my clients, I have them document everything that they think that they could delegate. And all I say is record yourself going through exactly how you do it. That's simple. And then save it for later so that when you do bring someone on and they have to do something for you, you already have videos that are created that say, this is how my back end of my system works. This is how I like for it to look. And this is how I get it to look that way. Here's your video. I think that's one of the easiest ways to make sure that there isn't a breakdown in communication between you and your VA, and they do it exactly the way that you would do it.
Yeah, I love that. And yes, Loom is so useful in these cases because you are watching how the person is taking this step by step. So yeah, really, really useful. And from then you can translate into a document if you need to, or steps in a task management tool. So from the video you could take care and do the rest of the process documentation. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, what do you think are the main tasks that in which an online course creator can get help from a VA? We have covered some, but let's say if you have to choose, let's say a few of them, yes.
Yeah. So the first one for me is going to be organization. And then that comes from just the course being organized, but also the back end. And when I talk about the back end, I'm talking about the platform that your course is loaded into. You want to make sure that your VA understands fully how that program works, because from that program, they'll be talking to not only you, but future students. And if there are any technical issues that come up within the system where your students can't get in or something happens to a module, you want someone who understands the back end. It's not going to be you, right? If it's going to be a VA, then you want to make sure that you have someone who understands how your back end system works, because that's the front of your business. That's where all
Yeah.
your clients go. And then from there, I think that the second most important is going to be marketing, to make sure that if you are presenting on social media, or if you're running ads, or if you have emails that are going, that kind of encompasses a couple different platforms, social media, email, that someone understands how that works, that they're able to push that forward for your course. So back end organization, and then your marketing.
Mhm. Nice. Yeah, and they are like really big import. They have a big important place in the successful of in the success of an online course. So yeah, absolutely,
Absolutely.
you would like to have help in that areas. I love how you bring that. Okay, bring someone to the back end with having in mind that this person could also help you in the support of your community, of your students, because that's a smart way to think about this. It's not just separate roles, but someone that is going to be involved in your business, knowing your stuff from the foundations, and then it's going to also help your community and your students. So I love that because one of the main things, okay, is bringing people to your course, yes, but then later the satisfaction and get a completion rate higher, and the satisfaction of your students will become later in new students that came, and testimonials and that. So it's really important to put the focus on that, because sometimes we forget, just we focus so much in bringing new people, but we don't take care as we should to the people that are actually on our community or
Absolutely.
course.
It's the whole journey. And as long as you keep the whole journey in mind of where you want them to be, where you want them to start, where you want them to finish, the testimonies and all of the student success all comes back to help more students come through the door. So it's a really big circle for me. That's how I think about it, as a circle. So if you make sure that every single piece of that circle is taken care of, yeah, you're going to have success within your course. And having somebody on the back end to do that, I mean, we created courses so that we could step away a little bit, right? We don't want to be there for every single step of the way, but we want to make sure that our content is there for every step of the way. So having someone there to monitor that and make sure it's still running smoothly, so that then we can step out and find more students or help our students who are in the course and really pay attention to them versus the circle system, that's just going to make you a better course creator.
Absolutely. Thank you. So now a question that I like to do to my guest is, what is a compliment from a client that has touched you the most?
I think for me as a course creator, one of my biggest compliments, I have a course for VAs who learn how to become VAs, be successful, have good client relations. And my most successful VA student, she was a teacher. And COVID hit while she was still trying to teach. She was growing her family. They were trying to move. And she took my course. And after taking my course, she said, "You literally changed the course of my life," which is the potential that you guys have as course creators, is to change the course of someone's life. Where I gave her the resources that allowed her to step into her next career, which is being a VA. And she has not gone back to teaching since. She's now working full time. She has grown her family now to two beautiful kids instead of one. Her family moved to a new home, and I was able to do that. And that, for me, is the reason why I do what I do. I don't know if there's a better compliment out there, to be honest.
Wow.
So yeah, that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's showing how you are helping the people and helping move forward in their lives. And it's not just about learning specific skills, but how this impact in their life actually and the life of their family. So lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now please tell the audience how they can connect with you, learn more about you, and what you do for them.
Absolutely. So I know you can see my website below, the raxxcreative.com. It's actually, we're going through a refresh right now, so it's going to be really pretty in the spring. Can't wait for that. But you can find me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest place to find me. DM me questions, comments, concerns. I'm just here to help, honestly, and I know a lot of VAs that I can connect people with. So as a course creator, if you just have no idea where to start or what to do, DM me, find me, and I'll make sure that you are going in the right direction.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bri, for sharing your expertise with us. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So happy to be here. Thank you, Remy.
So, before we go, just a quick reminder to our audience. If you are a new or aspiring online course creator, you can join my free community at rememancera.com/community. You will get there strategy, feedback, and accountability. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.